Now it's time for Straight on the Point with Jesse T from some undisclosed location somewhere in the world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Jesse T.
Hey, well, it's good to be back with you. The Brown Beauty is back on duty. Yes, sirree. It's time for the Jesse T Show. Right here, we are going to get to the real stories today, and it's going to be a great show. Thanking everybody who's checking out the show, who's sharing and liking it out. We really appreciate the support at facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. Also, Instagram Live at Jesse Terrero. The Power of Voices on Facebook. The Power of Voices on YouTube. Jesse Terrero YouTube channel. Periscope, Twitter, LinkedIn, Blogger, Tumblr, and so many others, Google Plus and Pinterest. We thank you very much for having us on the air and everywhere from the community to the world. Yes, I've got my double sunglasses on. I've got two glasses because it's so bright in here. I thought I'd wear my CHP specials from 1978. Yes, they're called the Chips. I like that. Bring it on, Dale Bird. Hey, Dale, what's happening, brother?
Mr. Jesse T, how you doing, brother?
Hey, it's been a while. What a week we've had. So much to talk about since last week, man. Wow.
Yes.
I mean, where do we start and where do we end? We should make this show about 3 hours long. Really, that's what it is.
It's going to take probably about 3 hours just to even get to the tip of everything that happened last week.
I know. It's just amazing, all this stuff that's happening last week. So I'm going to take my glasses off here and get ready. You like that? You like that? See, double glass look? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, because I can't drive without glasses anymore because I can't see the signs. And so my sunglasses are not magnified, right? So I have to wear the sunglasses over the glasses. And I think I'm going to set a new trend. That's going to be like a new trend. I'm going to go out to the clubs looking like this, right?
Did you find the glasses that make you invisible? Because that's the one that we're looking for.
Man, no, but I found the glasses that make my face look like a big Elvis Presley clown.
Oh, damn.
I look like the guy from Casino, man, you know?
But actually, those look better than the other ones. I like those.
You like these?
Yeah. It makes your head look smaller or something.
It's right. It looks like I got those big bubble bug eyes sticking up. You know? Yeah. How about this look?
Oh yeah, that's the one that scares me.
Oh, help me. I tell you, we have fun here on the show, and it's good to have you on. D. Craig is out making the bacon today, man. He's got to make some money, and that's what it's all about, guys. We always got to get out there making some money, so we excuse him for the day. He has a principal's pass.
It's all good, but make sure you guys go back and support his endeavors. He's the best bass player in the world.
Yeah, he plays a 6-string bass.
Yeah, he is bad. He's been playing since 13 years old. And self-taught, no training. Wow. He is bad. He can play anything by ear.
That's great, man. I mean, that's how a lot of people learn today. They don't get a lot of teaching in the classical way.
Right.
That's cool. Yeah, well, I've heard him play. He's very, very good.
He's bad.
But we're going to get into this here, and I kind of want to start off with, of course, the big hurricane happening. We won't touch too much on that because that's all over the news. But they did downgrade it to a level 2 hurricane. Just last night it was a level 4, but level 2 is 110-mile-an-hour winds. Can you imagine?
Wow, yeah. You know, I looked at that, and then what the news has been saying. You know, I'm not a weather guy, but they were saying that don't concentrate on the level of the hurricane. Concentrate on the bigness or the smallness of it. And I've been looking at the news all day, and it doesn't seem to be as bad as we thought it was going to be with the wind levels or whatever, but the water levels is what we have to worry about. So we're praying and wishing the best for our brothers and sisters down there in the Carolinas. Keep your heads down, guys.
I mean, it's flat ground coming from the Atlantic Ocean. It's not like, there's no mountains or hills in between. Like the San Fernando Valley or the San Gabriel Valley, there's a 800 to 1,000-foot mountain between the ocean and there. But they're just like 3-4 feet above sea level there. So 8-foot rise, and they were talking waves of like 20 to 50 feet. I mean, my goodness, that's
yeah, it's kind of bad, but those brothers down there in the Carolinas is the toughest brothers in the United States of America. They've been through it before. They know how to deal with it. Trust and believe. My folks are from around that area there. They tough. They know how to get through it.
Well, I'd something I wouldn't want to be in, as a hurricane. I've never been in a tornado or a hurricane, but I would think I'd rather much be in earthquakes than tornado and hurricanes.
Indeed, we will. So we thinking about you guys down there. Keep your heads down.
Those of you who are watching and listening, listen to the authorities in the area. And if you aren't out by now, don't try to get out. The roads are going to be under 1.5 feet of water. Just stay where you're at and try to find a shelter where they're housing folks and get out of your house because those foundations crack up. So we wish the best for you. And all that. We'll see how it turns out. But one of the things that people are complaining about now, and they are complaining before they should complain, is that Trump is being complacent. The White House is being complacent, and that's quite the opposite. It's like they complained about the Puerto Rico incident last year. I mean, really, did you read in the online today? Being reported by many different sites that the Puerto Rican mayor, several of the mayors, and the governor, and all the politicians were arrested for corruptness and fraud on the money that was coming in. And there's photos of millions of bottles of water just sitting there that they were supposed to distribute that the government provided. And I think that the biggest problem down there is the on-site corruption that has taken place there by the local politicians. I mean, that's what I think the problem is.
Well, I did see that story, and I didn't see if it was the governor or the mayor. I know President Trump has had some ongoing battles with the mayor of San Juan down there, the biggest city, going back and forth. But I didn't know she was arrested, but my thing is this: with what happened in Puerto Rico is, first of all, our president incorrectly stated the death total down there, and so he underestimated what actually happened on that island. And I've been there a couple of times. It is very isolated, and because they are American citizens, they vote. They have a right to the vote, but they have no representation as far as the U.S. Congress is concerned. And I think a lot of things that happened with Maria would not have happened if they would have had representation.
Oh, I agree with 100% there, Dale.
Right. At this point, I think that we need to make them the 51st state.
But if the folks and the citizens living in Puerto Rico don't want it, it's not going to happen. And that's been their issue for 50, 75, 100, 150 years, is that they don't want to become a state. They want their independence, but they don't. They always vote that down. It comes up all the time. And there's so many mayors. There are so many mayors on that island. It's sort of like little individual chieftains, like little states. Every 10 blocks has a new mayor. Not quite as speak. So that makes a lot of room for corruption and
exactly.
And I look at the Obama, after the big hurricanes that happened during the Obama second run of the administration. His popularity went up and shot up. Actually, it was the first run. His population and his popularity shot up because he empathized so much with the people down in St. Louis and the people down in New Orleans, and when they were hit there along the Gulf Coast there. And he emphasized so much that his popularity just exploded, and that really was part of the things that drove him to national notoriety, and a lot of people voted for him. Well, these hurricanes sort of kind of make a president or break a president. That's kind of and so these people, they know that, and we had a lot of Puerto Ricans talk about what was going on down there during Maria, but I was just waiting to see what would happen after a year. And, there's so much corruption. I've been to that island at least 20 times. performing with groups and stuff. There's so much corruption there, and it's just not kept in check. So, yeah, maybe he understated the death toll when he left. There was 18, 20, 30, or whatever it was. But nevertheless, people are going to die after the fact because of disease, because of sewage, because of dysentery, because of these type of medical issues that they can't address. So, but the bottom line is here that it's the corruption. And I don't think that we're going to get that here, what's hitting the Carolina coast. I hope not. It's certainly going to make or break Trump how they do this. I mean, there can't be, you did a good job, Brownie. Remember that one?
Yeah, and that's what killed George Bush.
Yeah.
With the flyover, and then you're doing a good job. Yeah. And then on the TV, on the regular TV, you might know it's fake news. We see millions of Americans, Black Americans, suffering while this guy is saying that it's doing a good job. It's a disconnect. And when you look at the hurricanes that we had right before Maria that hit Texas, you saw how in Florida, you saw how well that went. Because just take Texas for a second. They are structurally prepared to deal with something like that. So their infrastructure helped them to be able to recover a little bit faster. And I've always complained about Texas being whacked, but when you saw what they did with that hurricane down there, that was the American spirit happening down there. When you see these redneck guys down there getting in their boats, driving, rolling to Black communities and grabbing out Black babies and grabbing out Black families and saving them. That's what the American spirit is. Well, that's what happened. That's what happened in Texas. It was very impressive.
Yeah, it was. And we've seen that in a lot of hurricanes that hit this country in the last 20 years. We see the support that the community gives, and more support now than ever before. We're seeing it more and more. So but what really bothers me, and we'll move on here. What really bothers me is that a lot of the left wing, the liberal media, CNN, MSNBC, etc. Different magazines and newspapers, they're saying, that Trump's not ready, that he's not addressing this. I mean, they have so many people down there now and billions of dollars. They forewarned everybody 4 or 5 days ago, and not everybody left. And if you are told to leave and you don't want to leave, they can't drag you out of your house. And,
not everybody has the ability to leave. That's the problem.
Some people have the cars. They can't leave. But you can't. How many buses and airplanes and how many? Where do you put 10 million people? See, that's the thing. You're not going to be able to move 10 million people. Right. And so, but they do have the experience on the East Coast getting hit by all these hurricanes. That's for sure. That leads me to this idea of immigration. And Puerto Rico not wanting to be part of America. Maybe in the near future, they'll want to be part of America. But immigration, why is it, and explain this to me, Del, why is it that so many liberals want and foster and just want so much immigration, legal and illegal immigration, to be imposed in our country? Why don't they understand that illegal immigration and massive controlled legal immigration that's way over the numbers? There are higher numbers now than they've been in 100 years, the amount of immigrants coming to America, can change the body of a country and the culture of a country within 1 or 2 generations, because they just outbirth the indigenous people living there already that have a culture. Don't people get it that if you allow people to come in massive amount of numbers, either legally or illegally, that they're going to make more babies than the people living here, and you're going to lose your culture because we're not indoctrinating people like we did 150 years ago. Why is it that liberals or left-wing agendas can't get that basic concept. Do they want to change this country?
Well, first of all, I don't agree with your concept if that's what liberals think. Is this country is a country of immigrants?
Yeah, but it's not a country of immigrants to the degree that they're having right now. It's in the last 108 years, we have had more immigrants now than for over 100 years. It is unbelievable the amount of people coming in, and it's the left that argues the point for immigration. Don't put up the wall. Don't do this. Don't do that. Let people in. Just give them all amnesty and citizenship. I mean, at what point does a country stop that? You got to stop. Otherwise, you're going to lose your culture, Del.
No, I agree. I disagree with your synopsis of what's actually happening here. Is this country lets in about 1.2 million immigrants, legal immigrants, per year. Over the last 5 years, it did go up about 10%. So when you look at that, that means it's about 1.5 legal immigrants. This is not a far immigration incision here. It exactly is not. If you compare us, United States of America, with letting immigrants into any European country, we pale in comparison. I believe that this is a scaremongering that on the right that tries to make you guys so scared of people that don't look like you. Now, I said legal immigration. I said legal immigration, not illegal immigration.
That's the problem.
A different subject.
Well, it's the same subject. It's two categories.
It's not. It's not. It's a separate subject.
You're looking at, they're reporting 11, 12, 13 million. The number varies of illegal immigrants that have come to this country.
Illegal.
My
statement was not. My statement right now was not illegal. It was legal immigration.
Okay, that's fine, but illegal immigration is what has taken place and was changing the culture of America, and will continue to change it to a degree that it won't be the America that it is or has gotten to be as great as it is because of the America it is, and the ideology and the culture will go away. Now, if you accept the fact that 12 million illegal immigrants are coming here, and you sanitize them and give them in sanctuary cities and allow them to have some sort of clear, simple pathway to a citizenship, at what point do you stop other illegal immigrants from getting here? A country can only absorb so much different blood. It has nothing to do with what you look. It's all about culture. Either you like the American culture or you don't, because we're not indoctrinating legal or illegal immigrants into our culture anymore. It's like the left decided they don't want the American culture anymore. They don't want America to be America anymore. Why is that?
No, you see, once again, that's a conservative talking point. Let me just put some numbers out here for you so you can understand what I'm saying here. Is illegal immigration has been declining big time since 2003, since the George Bush passed the border security law in 2003. If you go back, and anybody can go back and look at the U.S. Customs website, you'll see how much it's declined. The problem is that you guys are trying to frame the 12 million or so, whatever it is, illegal aliens, immigrants that are here in America that came in the last couple of years. Is so far from the truth that now you can't understand how to fix the problem. Because wait a minute. Progressives, let me just say this. Progressives are not with open borders. That's a goddamn talking point. Is we don't agree with the wall because the wall is not the way to fix the problem. It is a 1980s way of fixing a 2018 problem. And that's what we disagree with.
Look, I can tell you this from absolute experience, all right? I can tell you this from selling real estate in Los Angeles here for the last 40 years of my life, okay? I have seen neighborhoods that have gone, and we'll start with black folks, African Americans. I've seen neighborhoods that were predominantly all African American.
Yeah.
All black folks, families, working just like everybody else, saving money, going to work. The schools were okay. Everything was fine. The LAUSD, etc. They had cars. They weren't poor. They weren't handout, to the state of California. There was no Section 8. There was none of this freebie stuff. All right. Complete those neighborhoods in less than 15 years, 20 years maybe, turned completely Hispanic. Okay, completely. To the point now where African Americans and black folks aren't even a dominant force in those neighborhoods. I can see neighborhoods that were all white, as frilly white as you want to think white could be. It's Caucasian, whatever that pops up in your head, that look. Completely, within 15 years, completely turn all Hispanic and Latino, Hispanic, completely. Okay, I've seen neighborhoods that were literally all, more Asian neighborhoods, okay? And the Asians that were here before the Chinese, before the Koreans, before everybody were the Japanese. They were here before the Filipinos and everybody, and they were here in pretty good numbers on the West Coast. Their neighborhoods are gone, okay? Gone completely. There are still cultural centers in neighborhoods, Japanese cultural centers in neighborhoods that used to be all Japanese. I remember that not too long ago in my past. So what I'm saying from firsthand experience, the neighborhoods, the everyday living, hardworking people, the neighborhoods have completely changed. What comes with that is a culture change, because you see, we're not indoctrinating people to the American ideology anymore. The Poles, the Jewish, the Italians, the Germans, the Swedes, the Finlands, the Spaniards, the English, the Irish, the Scot, the Welsh, whatever, the Greeks, whatever, that came here in the last mass of immigration at the end of the Civil War and the beginning of the 20th century. They were indoctrinated with an American ideology. And that's been my complaint. We're not doing that. So they're creating their own culture, and they're imposing that culture on America. And we are losing our culture very fast, whether it's legal or illegal. We've got to put a stop to it. We've got to put a stop to it. In my opinion, and here, build the wall, redo all the immigration laws, and tighten it down. Otherwise, America is not going to be America in any cultural significance that we have right now today, 20 years from now.
But see, you can say exactly what you said there, but your solution to solve the problem is wrong. Your calculation to solve the problem is what I consider wrong. Is these 12 million people didn't come in the last couple of years. When Ronald Reagan gave all these guys amnesty back in 1986 or whatever it was, he didn't fix the immigration law. So now you have all these people that came over here illegally during that time frame. When Bill Clinton passed that law to make it a little bit tougher on that border there, then you started to get a little bit of a decline. When George Bush passed the border law, it made it completely tough now. And what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter what you're saying as far as the people that are here are coming over right now, because they're in small numbers. It's the people that are already here illegally that we need to take care of. And that can only be done by comprehensive immigration legislation. That's the only way that you can deal with it.
I totally agree with you, but you got to stop the dam from leaking in every leak that has sprouted, and one of them is a porous border that we still have. People coming across the border all the time. More people come across the border with a passport and stay here than they come illegally crossing the border. No, I beg to differ with you on that one. No, we got Central Americans now, not so much Mexicans. When you refer to Mexicans, yes, that has gone down. But Central Americans are coming across the border and walking straight across Mexico to get here, and they're not coming with papers. But comprehensive immigration reform, it has to always been done. Reagan made a big mistake by giving them amnesty, as far as I was concerned. Big mistake. He set the precedent for future presidents, and they've all followed suit. And Trump doesn't want to do that. And that's the changing of the guard. He wants to build a wall and get some sort of comprehensive comprehensive immigration reform. Both houses, both parties agree to that. But you got to stop the leak, as far as I'm concerned. Because if we don't, the American culture that I love, that you were raised in, that I was raised in, overall will not be here in this country in a very short period. We'll be another country called America, but we won't be the America that we have today in that respect, or that we had in any time. Now, you may like that or you may not. I sort of like this country the way it is. I don't want to see a change. In a cultural change. Europe, just watch what's happening in Europe with all the illegal immigration that took place. England, Denmark, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Greece, they're all having Islamic, fanatic, Muslim rapes, murders, kills, the places you can't go into. Those countries are lost. Europe is lost. It'll never come back. And we can't have that happen here. All right, this brings me to the next topic in that respect. What is it? Why is it? Try to explain this to me. Explain this one to me, Del. Why is it that, look it, our economy has changed. It's gotten better. Jobs have gotten better. Employment has gotten better. Unemployment has gotten less. GDP has gone up. We have a stronger military. We're cleaning some of the swamp and corruption up in the DOJ and the FBI. And the different organizations. We're cleaning that up. Republican politicians, Democrat politicians are quitting. Long-term politicians, because frankly, I believe they don't want to get exposed in this state of corruption. Why is it that Trump has done so many things right, but the left can't even accept one thing that he does right, and it's all just let's hate Trump?
Well, it's well, that's
to me.
Well, let's deal with you put like three things out there. Let's deal with one of the things initially, because I'm a business guy, so I'm about the economy. I don't think that Trump did anything better than what the last economy was. Okay. The numbers don't show me that. The numbers don't show me that.
2.2 GDP under Obama at the very best, 2.0 to 2.2, and we have a 4.1, 4.2 GDP right now.
No, that's a lie. The way that
it's a lie.
Here's the thing, Jesse. I did this thing the other day because I was sitting here and I'm going, the way that the media is framing this, both left and right, is disgusting to me. I'm going to read you a couple of numbers here, bruh. Give me a second. Work me for a second here. Let's talk about GDP for a second. GDP under Obama, the highest that he ever reached in 1 year was 2.9. I think that was in 2014. But he reached in one quarter, 4 point or higher, 4.7 in the fourth quarter of 2011, 5.1 in the second quarter of 2014, 4.9 in the third quarter of 2014. When you're saying GDP in the last quarter of this year hit 4.2, that is not the GDP for the year. And so when you make a comparison to that, it's bad numbers. It's a bad way to look at it. And this, you have to give me a second here. Is in 2007, the highest amount that Barack ever hit was 2.9. In 2016, he hit a low, Obama, 1.6. In 2017, Donald Trump was 2.2. Where is all this economic bullshit that you guys are that you're talking about? If you just go to 2018 and the end of the quarter is the end of this month, is the first quarter was 2.2. The second quarter was 4.1, which is good. It's good, but if you average those two things out, it's 3.1. I don't see this economic boom. I got a whole bunch of other numbers here if you want me to read them out, because I don't think that it's any better than what we were already in.
You look at 8 years under Democratic rule, under Barack Obama, President Obama. You look at 8 years of his rule. If you take that and you look at his whole 8 years, those numbers were for specific times, for specific reasons.
Yes.
You got to remember, Donald Trump has only been president for 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay?
So what?
Not 8 years.
So what?
Here's the point. His 2 years compared to Barack Obama's first 2 years has far outpaced it.
No, hell no. Wait a minute. I am not going to let you get away. I'm not going to let conservatives get away with that talking point.
No,
you're not going to get away with that talking point with me. If Donald Trump took over the economy in 2009 that was in the same condition that he got right now, then you would have a good talking point. But we were losing 800,000 jobs a month when Barack Obama took over. The housing market was in the trash. The banking system was in the trash. Donald Trump took over a healthy economy and he played with it. It's the same version. Let me give you this. It's the same version as I said, hey, Jess, here's a Cadillac that I refurbished. It was broken down and I got the damn thing running. It's all good. Everything, the engine is working, everything is working. Versus where he took over, where the engine was broke down. You can't compare Donald Trump's first 2 years to Barack Obama's first 2 years. If you want to make a comparison, you make it from 19 months of him being the president in the last 19 months of Barack Obama being the president. And let me give you another number before you cut me off here. In the last 19 months of Donald Trump's presidency, because he's only been president 19 months, job creation is 3.5 million jobs, a little bit over 3.5 million. In the last 19 months of Barack Obama, his numbers, job creation was 3.8 million jobs, which means that he actually created 500,000 more jobs in the same time frame that he did. I got a whole bunch of more numbers for you if you want me to.
I don't know what numbers you're going by, but I'll tell you what.
Going by regular numbers.
In 2011, Obama's numbers on
I'm not talking about 2011.
On GDP growth was under 2%. In 2012, it was just slightly over 2%. In 2013, it was under 2%. In 2014, it was slightly about a third, about halfway lower than 3%.
No.
It's about 2.5.
No.
I'm looking at the chart right now.
No. I said when I started, I said that in 2016, Barack Obama's the whole year, not a quarter, because that's what you guys are trying to do, was 1.6. That's lowest. That's low as shit. But in 2017, Donald Trump's GDP was 2.2. So where is the economic boom?
From 1.6 to 2.3, actually, it was.
Yeah, 2.3.
Yeah, in his first year, it starts going up because he gets rid of all the bureaucracy and all
that's a lie as well. That's a lie as well.
And you answer this because I'm looking at the stats right now. In 2015, Obama had 2.9 GDP for the whole 2015. For the whole year.
That's the highest year.
In 2016, he drops down to 1.6.
1.6.
How do you go from 2.9 to 1.6 in 1 year? Poor policy. He stifled business. All the regulations that he put
That's
in
not my point.
kicking
No,
in.
no. That's not my point.
Donald Trump
The
comes in.
2.9.
No, wait a
minute. That's not my point.
Now,
no,
wait a second.
That's not my point. That is not my point.
Right now, in 2017, Trump goes to 2.3 from 1.6 in 2016. That's Obama, okay?
Right. Is that an economic boom? 1 point. Less than 1 point growth. Is that an economic?
Wait a minute. That's just a start. That's just a start.
Okay, I'm just asking you a question. I want to ask you a question. Going from 1.6 to 0.3, is that an economic boom?
2.9 in July of 2018. 2.9. He did in the first year. He did better than Obama did in his whole career.
No. In 2017, in 2017, for the whole year, Donald Trump, which is not even really his economy yet, but I'm going to give you that, is 2.2. So if you versus that against 1.6, is that really an economic boom?
I'm going to answer that. And you have to answer that by looking at July. That's where my chart ends.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Because the graph is continuing to go up.
That's not how you measure the economy.
A boom is happening. It doesn't go down. It's continuing to rise, and it has risen higher than that, than 2.9, 4.1, 4.0. It's at right now towards the end of this year. His boom is bigger. His boom is bigger than the best he could do. My argument here is over 8 years. I stated this when I started this. Over 8 years, Obama's economy barely grew. In the short time that Trump has been president, his economy has exploded. You cannot.
It's not exploded. Wait a minute. Stop. That loaded word of explosion is where you go wrong. No. From 1.6 in 2016 to 2.2 in 2017 is not an explosion.
From 2.2 to 2017 to 4.0 right now.
No. 4.2 in 1 quarter. In 1 quarter, and that's not how you measure an economy.
Because look it, man. Come on, quit being so silly.
No. I'm not going to do it because you try to change numbers,
and it continues to rise.
It was rising before.
No, it was not.
It was rising before.
Look, it was 1.6. It took a nosedive.
No. Excuse me. In 2016, when Barack Obama left, the unemployment level was 4.7. Now it's 3.9. Really? Is that really an explosion?
Yes.
From 4.7 to 3.9 in 2 years is an explosion.
It wasn't at 4.9. It was at 1.6 GDP.
No, I'm talking about. I'm sorry. I was saying unemployment. I was talking about unemployment.
No, I'm not talking about unemployment.
Right. Is that really an explosion? It's not an explosion now.
Yes.
It's really not.
Yes, you believe what you want to believe. Let me ask a question, guys.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Brother.
Okay, give me the stats of the last year of Bush compared to the first year of Obama.
Okay.
The last year of Bush for GDP?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll look it up right now.
No, I don't need to look it up. The numbers is in my head. GDP in the last quarter of Bush was -1%. -1%, meaning that he didn't grow shit. He was in the hole. In the first 3 quarters, they barely rose. I don't think that 1 quarter in 2008 was more than 2%, if my memory is correct.
I'm looking it up right now. I'll tell you.
I don't need to look at the numbers. I know them.
Well, you know them, but I'm looking them up.
Well, there we go. That's the difference.
See, my point of asking that question is very simple. We all know that we were in bad condition under the administration of Bush economically.
Not all of us know that, bruh.
Okay, so Obama did inherit a tough job as it relates to the economy and several other issues. The fact of the matter is, the baton, when it was handed over to Trump, he did not inherit a bad economy.
Right.
Is that? I mean, would you at least agree to that, Jesse?
Not in the way that you're stating it. Okay.
Well, either it is or it isn't. It's a yes or no answer.
I'll tell you why. Because President Bush at the end, and I'm not a Bush guy. Okay. I do not like the Bush political enterprise. But President Bush, at the end of his 8 years, he got hit with a lot of things that thrust our economy into the bad shape it was. Two major things happened. In 2008, we had the subprime blow up.
Right.
2008. In the last year of his presidency, the housing and loan financial bubble burst, and that is a direct correlation to President Clinton. Okay. Yes. Okay, a direct correlation to Barney Frank,
arguing that.
King, Dick Schumer, President Clinton.
Okay, all right, okay, but he had 8 years. He had 8 years to fix it, and he didn't. The fact of the matter is, the economy was in bad shape.
Wait, let me finish the point. I'm going to answer the question. Okay.
No, you're going backwards.
No, I've got to go back in order to answer your question.
No, you don't. It's a yes or no. No, Jesse.
Look, you guys are going to let me answer the question.
But I don't want to hear the bullshit that you're going to come up with. It's a yes or no answer.
I'm going to answer the question, and I'll just keep talking over you. If that's what I got to do,
because I could turn you off.
The point. When you go back to Clinton, they created the mess in 2008.
We know that
Obama inherited from Bush, from Clinton, and from Bush 1. He inherited these awful presidents.
Right, we know that.
Okay, number 2, yes. 9/11 attacks. It thrust our country into spending trillions of dollars on money overseas with our military. Billions and billions and billions of dollars that directly affected our economy.
Trillions.
Okay, so now you have two things that destroyed the Bush economy as it was going down, because it was going up. But when 9/11 hit, and then with this explosion of the subprime blow-up, he had no chance. Now, Obama comes in, and I'll grant you, he came in at a very difficult time, but he had 8 years to rectify it.
And he did. He did rectify it.
No, he didn't. He had the smallest growth out of a recession than any other president in the history of the United States of America.
Oh, my God.
Since when?
Just look it up historically. The smallest.
It's historically the biggest recession or the biggest downfall economically we ever had was the Great Depression, and that was a big one. It took 80% of our wealth and income away from this country. That was the biggest one ever. Every economic person says that. And so when you look at the 2009 recession as the second biggest one, then you know what? It took them in 1929 13 years to recover this. So when conservatives say it's the slowest recession since the slowest recovery since the Great Depression, okay, you're comparing it to that.
Here's the point. His economy in his last year was going on a downward kamikaze death row. Man, it was dropping. It went from 2.9 to 1.6.
Right. It's not a kamikaze death spiral.
Down, man, and it was continuing to going down because of all his regulations.
Oh, okay.
Trump came. He got rid of all the regulations. 1,000 regulations, which allowed the hands to be untied.
Regulations is a myth.
Again, that's why our unemployment is down, and that's why.
One point
indicator: people are making more money. 61,000.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. People are not making more money than they was making in 2016.
If you cannot believe that if you can't believe the government statistics, then I can't believe any of the statistics.
I'm using the government
Because
statistics.
the statistics are the stats. Facts are facts. And
That's what I'm using. I'm using that. In
yeah, and
2000,
that's why the Trump economy is exploding.
no,
Because
it's not.
inflation.
My point is that it's not exploding. In the 2016,
Sure is.
in 2016, and Lee, I want to listen
Far
to this.
greater than anything that Obama ever did.
Well,
My
let me ask you a
goodness.
question. Another question.
Not. If you look at the number, I have
Jesse.
way
I'm
more
looking
numbers.
at the numbers right here.
Okay, the number, yeah, just like the guy that lost the presidential race, he said the numbers don't lie. Look at the charts. Look at the charts. Okay, we know all that, but here we are standing here today on the
Wait a minute.
13th.
Did you talk about H. Ross Perot there?
Yes.
No, wait a minute. You know the last news.
We going back. We going back.
I busted up. I was an H. Ross Perot guy.
I like H. Ross Perot.
Oh God,
I joined his own.
He was
I actually liked him too.
he was
I
a
like
cartoon.
that little guy
Kind of
with-
bullshit, but I like the way that he
But
kept
check
it real.
Check out Lee. They rolled out Trump backing up his economy and all this. They wrote out the head economist for the administration in Washington at the last news conference, the last press conference, and he had the charts.
Oh God.
And I'm saying, oh man, he stole a page from H. Ross Perot. He's looking at the charts.
Look at the charts. Look at the charts. The charts don't lie.
The charts don't lie. I
Now,
love that little
okay.
guy.
Jesse, you're standing on the premise that the economy is doing great and all of that. Point to me in your personal life or people are immediately around you where it's booming for you. It's not
Thank you.
booming for me.
Yep, it's not.
Well, more people are buying property. That's number one.
This is that trend has been going up for the last 5 years, Jess, and you've told
Right.
me that.
I know that, but more people.
You've told me that.
Right. I have, and that's
As
true.
a personal friend, we've had many conversations
Right.
about that over the last 5 years.
I'm gonna tell
How
you.
it's coming back from where the previous where the bust happened. Right
More people
now,
buy- more people-
right now, home buyers
Right.
are the home prices are the same that they were in 2009.
Actually,
And so
more.
it's more. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you tell me
lot
that all the
more.
time. Yeah, it is. You're right about it. It's crazy.
Right.
But those have been going up steadily
Right.
for
Okay.
the last
Yes.
5
Okay.
years.
But that trend hasn't stopped. It's slowed
Right.
down a little bit because of supply and demand.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
right,
because
right.
and just because they had to raise, the Fed raised the interest rate to offset potential inflation.
Inflation, right?
Okay, but we knew they've been threatening to raise the interest rate for a number of years now. Except this chairman did it.
He did it
Okay.
3 times.
Yeah,
He's done
he
it
did,
3 times.
and he's going to do it again.
Yeah,
But
he will do it
here.
again.
because they have to offset inflation. There's more money in the economy. They have to offset inflation. Okay. Whether it's paper money or real money, it doesn't matter. There's more floating around, so they have to offset inflation by raising the rate to slow things down a little bit. But nevertheless, in Southern California, people are buying a house. More people are buying cars. I know people are buying.
Yeah.
Everybody's buying a car that I know.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
That's the next bust.
More people buying cars.
That's the next bust.
It might, in fact, be the next bust. But Lee asked me, who's doing well? I know people right now that are leaving their jobs for better paying jobs. And they wouldn't do that 8-10 years ago. They were afraid to even they were lucky to have a job. I know people who are not working 3 part-time jobs at $15 or $10 an hour, in 3 different locations, but they're narrowing that down to one job, working for one company or a side job and one job. So here it is changed. Things are getting better for the common person.
No,
And
it's not.
only that,
No, it's not. It's a fake. Wait a minute. It just let me just say.
I don't know. I got to
It's
say
fake.
something.
It's fake. And let me make you understand why it's fake. And I'm gonna put my tax hat on for a second here, so you guys can understand what's about to happen to us. When I see the jobs report come out each month, I look at the number of jobs that have been created. Last month was 202,000 jobs. That's pretty much enough to sustain the growth in of the economy. It doesn't mean that we are actually growing, but I don't just look at that number. I look at the areas, the sectors of the growth. Now, here's the thing that concerns me: that Donald Trump, President Trump, has brought back some manufacturing jobs in a pace way bigger than Barack Obama. If you look at the whole 8 years of Barack Obama, he brought back about 800K jobs, manufacturing style. Right now, with President Trump, he's brought back 300,000, over 300,000 jobs, manufacturing jobs in a year and a half. But here's the reality of it: those jobs fluctuate. Those are not the jobs that we should be trying to create, because just like we created them now, they will go away at the same pace that they're coming back right now. I'm looking at the growth in industries that we should be growing in right now that are stagnant, that are not doing any damn thing.
Wait a second. Did I just hear what I thought? You're saying
Yeah,
that
you heard me.
manufacturing jobs are the jobs that are volatile and go away,
Mhm.
and service-oriented jobs that Obama did over his tenure of 8 years brought back lots of service-oriented part-time
We're
labor.
a service-oriented country.
Wait. It's not
70% of our jobs in America
Those jobs are more stable.
service-oriented.
Those jobs are more stable than manufacturing jobs.
Yes.
What planet are you coming from?
Because I look at it historically.
Historically, America was built on the backs of manufacturing jobs.
At the height
of manufacturing jobs, you have a volatile marketplace because customer service goes up and down. So volatile.
Right. Yeah, retail jobs are jobs that go up and down, and we should not be invested in them either. But we should not be invested in these low wage manufacturing jobs. Let me just give you some numbers. At the very height of manufacturing jobs in this country in 1979, we were almost at about 20 million. Those jobs right now, manufacturing jobs, are 12 million. They have been declining since the 70s. I know it for a fact because they hit the urban community first. That's why our urban communities are so fucked up right now, because they left us first. Now the white communities in the Midwest, they're catching up with them as well. Donald Trump is giving these people a false sense of security, because these low $18 an hour jobs are going to be taken by emerging markets, developing countries.
Look, that's what he's trying to fight. That's why he's trying to fight these terrible trade deals that we have.
He's never going to do it.
With Mexico,
it's an insane reality.
Is better than the NAFTA deal that we had. That's why he got TARP. Before he even got started, we killed TARP. Because you cannot allow these manufacturing jobs, which are not $18 an hour. These are unionized manufacturing jobs.
$18 an hour.
Okay.
On average, they're $18 an hour. And
$18 an hour is better than $12 an hour, and you have health insurance. I mean, come on. So here's the point. I'd rather make $18 an hour going to one place than make $12 an hour having to drive to three places and stay at 25. Here's the point. Manufacturing jobs is what a nation is built on. Without manufacturing jobs, you have no country. Okay,
you're exactly right.
Okay,
Jesse,
and he's bringing back the manufacturing jobs by renegotiating trade deals that make America great, and not the rest of the countries around the world that have been taking advantage of us, where our manufacturers, they only care about the bottom line. They'll sell the slave labor in China.
You're exactly right. You just defined the problem. You just defined the problem.
And that's what Donald Trump is fixing.
He can't fix it.
He's fixing it one step at a time. TARP, NAFTA, gone. More manufacturing coming back. Sure, we're losing some, but more of it's coming back.
never going to get to the 20 million manufacturing jobs that we had in the 70s. Now it's 12 million.
Hey, I would rather have 15 million manufacturing jobs than 12. If we get to 15 or 17, that's better than 10 million manufacturing jobs that Obama had. Come on.
No, Obama was at 12 million. Trump is at 12 million as well, 12 million plus. But the problem is that he's concentrating on low-end manufacturing jobs and not investing in high-end manufacturing jobs. Those corporations that you talk about. This is what conservatives is a disconnect with you guys. I don't get it. Is Ford Company or any other company, they don't give a damn about nothing but their bottom line. If they can make a widget for $6 an hour in Malaysia and it costs them $18 in the USA, guess where they're going to go?
Well, this is the problem. We should take those countries and we should excommunicate them from America, as far as I'm concerned.
Is that going to stop the corporations from going there? Is that going to stop the corporations from going there and doing that?
Here's the thing that you guys don't get. I'm getting a ton of music in my headphones, Lee. Are you playing any music?
No.
Oh, man, I'm just getting a ton of stuff in my headphones here. All kinds of crazy music. But now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's a start. It's a start. And you got to give the time for it to happen. Obama had 8 years, and he didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything? He had 82 months of positive private sector job growth. He didn't do anything. Come on.
Is that you playing the music, Del?
No, that's your music happening right now.
It's your music playing now. I think you got some music playing on your computer, Jesse. Because we don't hear it.
All of a sudden it came up.
It's your intro music. Okay, there we go. So now it's
I'm playing intro music now, but I wasn't before.
All right. You're playing the intro music, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Hey, Del Burt, it's been fun, man. You and I, we rack it up pretty good.
It's all good, brother. You know I love it.
And I tell you what, look at. I'm going to take you out and buy you a soda and get you real drunk on Dr. Pepper, man.
No, well, I'm going to take for the Dr. Pepper to get my ass drunk.
Del Burt, everybody, how do they get in touch with you, man?
Ken Del Invest everywhere. Yahoo.com, Twitter, and the whole 9 yards.
We got some good things coming up in store on the real stories here in the future, so stay tuned for that. And we miss D. Craig. He'll be back with us next week. And you guys have a good one. Keep the conversation rolling, because that's what it's all about, brother. The Brown Beauty is off duty. See ya!